I didn't know the story, but my friend had seen him speak in Florida a few years before I made the movie, and told me about this guy who was in this fire, and I don't know how many people, 15,000 were in this stadium, and I said, one guy talking to 15,000 people, and he's not a comedian. Like, I didn't really understand it, but now I do. Like John speaks, he can fill Madison Square Garden, and people want to hear what he's got to say, and so that's pretty cool. But not as familiar as Stephanie, the Stephanie Shostak, who plays my wife in the movie. She knew John, had read his book, had heard him speak, yeah. Well, it's a little nerve-wracking because John's dad, Denny, who I played, he passed a few months ago. But when we were making the movie, he had Parkinson's for the last 30 years, and he really couldn't speak. But when I crouched down by him, he had a hard time standing. When I crouched down by him and could talk, he could push out enough for us to talk and have. And he tried really hard to talk, and we could have a few laughs. And he had a big smile on his face. So I really feel like I got to know him a little bit. And then I would have to go over here 10 feet and be him in a scene, knowing he was watching me on a monitor. But, I got used to that pretty quick. But it was a little nerve-wracking because I wanted to do a good job, for them. But to be in the house that John had burned down when he was 9 years old, when he caught himself on fire, that they rebuilt. Now we're in the house and in the kitchen and in the church where John got married, and the hospital was filled with extras with people who are his nurses and doctors. I mean, it just adds a little something that you don't get being on a Paramount lot in a hospital movie set, Well, his dad had seen a few bits of it along the way. So John said, I didn't ask, John, I hear your dad just died. How do you like my performance? I didn't ask, but John constantly told me how much his dad liked me / loved me, because he was just that kind of a guy, and I felt the same. So I wasn't really worried. I really tried. After 40 years, I tried my best to give a great interpretation. So whether he told John he liked it or not, I know he did, because when you try your best at anything, that's all you can do, and that's what it is. So I'm just happy that he did get to see it. I hope he didn't die because he saw my performance and then died 5 minutes after the movie. But I'm making a joke, of course. But I am so happy that he got to see it, because we all want to have a movie made of our lives, or somebody we know. We say all the time they should make a movie about that, and they actually did it this time. Linda Huntington, our producer, heard John speak in Vegas and approached him and said, this would be a damn good movie. Can I try to make one? And he said, sure. Well, there we are. We did it. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.